Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We are going to discuss modern films. Why they're shit. Are they shit? Am I just old? Are we all just old? Are younger people just a bit more in touch with what's going on at the moment in the real world? And actually, are we being hypercritical, people of my age and above? Because essentially, films are just not what we want anymore, and we're catering to a younger audience. Let's put it that way. And people keep calling it modern, I guess, modern audiences, but let's be real. It's just younger people who are probably more willing to spend their money watching it. They've got more time. You know, we're all busy doing bullshit. So, look, if you do like this kind of content that I'm going to talk about, I am going to be talking about all things about modern movies, why I personally... I'm not loving things at the moment, so we're going to talk about all things D&I, all things about sort of the creative side of things, the scripts, why are things so bad, essentially? What IPs are they ruining? Why are they ruining? All these different things. We're going to try and come up with some solutions, and I'm asking you guys who are watching to put your solutions in the comments below, and also consider subscribing and liking the video, because it really does help. I'm also trying to grow this channel, and again, it's very difficult because... why the fuck should you follow me? I'm just another person talking shit on YouTube amongst millions of other people talking shit and have their views. And like they say, opinions are like arseholes, right? Everybody's got one. And that is the first topic I want to touch on, right? So, speaking of opinions are like arseholes, we've got other YouTubers with fantastic following shitting on loads of films, right? So we've got the Critical Drinker, we've got Nerdrotic, we've got lots of people like this, right? They have such big followings that they're actually able to affect the industry. And they did it with me, right? And I'll tell you how. I'm a big fan of them. I do think they're overcritical at times, and they're really pushing their own agenda towards a certain type of people. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine, because that's what YouTube is, right? Build a following, build a cult, and they will follow. And they will also shout at you if you disagree. It's the same with any cult, and I've experienced it on YouTube, making loads of content about different people. And yeah, you can see that people really sort of, they're into what they're into. Let's put it that way. So an example of this, right, that I was saying. So they all spoke about modern films and said how shit they are, which I agreed with. But then they said stuff like, Godzilla Minus One is a big fuck you to Hollywood. It's the best thing since sliced bread with a little budget. Look what they've done. Look what they've created. It's a best film of the year. Guaranteed. I've watched it 6 times. It's still good. I told all my friends that, oh, watch out for this film. Godzilla Minus One. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Because I trust these people, right? However, I watched Godzilla Minus One. And it wasn't for me. Was it a good film? Yeah, I guess so. It's a Japanese film, so it's got that cheesy Japanese acting. I'm not a huge fan of that, so that's never going to impress me. The CGI, at times, was fantastic, but at times, man, come on, that was bad. That was bad at times. And it's not just the CGI. It was also like it was a prop, and I get it. It was trying to get you into the 1940s, so it was like bum, 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 dun-dun-dun-dun, giving you that big Godzilla theme. But, I mean, come on, I'm looking at the camera now, and the Godzilla, yeah, it would have these eyes, and it would be like looking over here like, what the fuck, man? It looked like a zombie at times. Like, I don't know, it just looked a bit shit, gormless, looked like a blow-up sex doll like I mentioned. Like, it had nothing about it. Like, it didn't feel scary, didn't feel real, took me out of the film. And I'm like, do they really think this was that good? Like, I enjoyed it. It was a decent film, but film of the year? No, behave. Absolutely not. So, an example of how I've pushed on that message, and I hadn't even seen it, and I've said, oh, yeah, it's good, watch it. Turns out it weren't that good. So this is an example of how they're affecting things. And with such a big following, they're also affecting things before they're even coming out. So I hate the Rings of Power. Of course I do. Lord of the Rings is one of my favourite things on this earth, right? Especially the first one, Fellowship of the Ring. An amazing film. Rings of Power has destroyed all that in terms of they had a real chance to have the people that love Lord of the Rings just watch this show and enjoy it. They didn't even have to make it good. What they just didn't want to do is destroy it. And ironically, Rings of Power has destroyed the ring, right? And all its glory. So, yeah, unfortunately, I can't be on board with that level of sort of quotas, D&I, storytelling, political pushing it's terrible. It's not good. And it, for me, takes me out of the experience. And then on top of that, terrible writing, characters within the lore of Lord of the Rings and Tolkien are not doing and not behaving how they should be. You've got people being portrayed as completely different. So I am not about that. Yeah, I can't watch shit like that. Yeah, I really can't. It has to be relatable in terms of to the actual fucking IP. If you're going to take an IP, run with it. Yeah, you don't pick up a IP like Star Wars, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, we've got all these characters that are in the Star Wars universe, but I'm just going to write in this really powerful female character who's more powerful than the most powerful Jedi that's ever lived, and we're just going to put her in that because I just think that's what the fans are going to want. Like, come on, we know that's not what the fans are going to want. Why are you doing that? And this is really where my issue is. My issue is factually how they start with films now. So they clearly have, like, basically, right, quota, let's get this. So make a script and it has to have this in it. It has to have this in it, and it has to have some D&I elements in it, and politically it can't be one way or the other, or it can only be leaning a certain way, okay? And we know what that way is. I'm not here to talk about that shit. So that's the way it is, and then what you end up with is things that are ruined, like Doctor Who. I do not like Doctor Who, right? It's not an IP I've ever liked. I know I'm English and I should love it because it's an English show, but it really is. It's always been a bit shit for me. Daleks, for me, look like trash bins with wheels. I said trash, oh my God. Like, basically, bins, yeah, in England, we just call them bins, yeah, wheelie bins, yeah, that's what we call them. So they look like wheelie bins, wheelie trash bins, with a fucking plunger stuck to them, and they have that stupid exterminate. Like, they ain't scary. Like, I'm sorry, as a young kid I was watching Hellraiser, Alien, Predator, like all of these different films. The Daleks are not scary. They remind me of like Robot Wars. I don't know if in America you have Robot Wars, but it reminds me of that basically. Like, it was never good for me basically, is what I'm saying. Bigger tangent there. So yeah, like, fuck off. They've destroyed that. I feel sorry for anyone who's a fan of that. And I've never seen like political pushing, and it's borderline mental health that they're pushing, like mental health issues rather, with the type of content that they're pushing. And again, I'm not going to go too much into that stuff, but I don't care what gender, sexuality, colour, hair, political view that you have. Like, I really don't give a shit. I do care when you make a film or a program littered in with all this garbage where you're just like, come on. Like, how can I watch something that's telling me I have some privilege, or that it's normal to be like this or like this or like this? Like, let's not normalize crap, yeah? Let's normalize good quality writing, good quality TV shows, series that you want to watch. Yeah, let's normalize things like that. Yeah, let's normalize talent. So talented actors. Yeah, not people who are fucking there because they fit a certain quota or whatever it is. Like, this is fucking bullshit. Yeah, what we're seeing in certain things. Yeah, not everything, but certain things are bullshit. And with this quota and everything, you're never going to get new Quentin Tarantinos. You're never going to get new Ridley Scott. You're not going to... I say Ridley Scott, he's completely finished now. But, you know, the original, yeah? You're never going to get the Spielbergs. We want good... And Scorsese's and things like this. You're not going to get them now because ultimately they're not allowed to make films now. They do because they have a good name behind them and they make money. But you know what I mean? The up-and-comers. There are no up-and-comers. It's always the same people ruining the same shit, who they've ruined their crap because why? They're happy to fill their films up with this shit quota and essentially make bang average films that do quite well at the box office and try and live off a script that was done by Marvel Studios and rinsed everything to shit, to the point where we're sick and tired of those kind of films. I did love that at the time. It was fantastic. We had a great 10-year spell of just fantastic superhero movies. Not all of them, but most of them were really good. They were fun. They were enjoyable. No one over critiques them. It's a superhero, right? Who cares if it's a female running around killing men? I don't give a shit. It's superheroes, yeah? How can you care? It's so unrealistic. The whole world's crazy. I didn't care if the Hulk is bloody transgender. I did not give a fuck, basically. No one cares, yeah? It was just good to watch. No one asked these questions. They didn't tell you these questions. Now, let's move on to what they're doing now, which is so different to what they've done in the past. And ultimately, they're just producing cheap shit. Like, before, it used to take years for films to be made. Yeah, sometimes slightly too long. Series, again, were the same. They took ages. You had to wait a week for the next episode. Now, everything just comes at you all at once. You can watch it. You just get overloaded with crap. And then if you don't like this crap, you can watch another piece of crap on another streaming platform, because that's just coming out with new stuff as well. So this rat race to produce content and just use an IP just to get the fans hopefully to watch it, and you never know, you might get some new people onto it. This is producing low quality crap. Yeah, the acting's poor, the script writing's poor, and basically, let's just say Star Wars, yeah, we've had so much shit from Star Wars and Disney that there has been some good stuff in there, like Rogue One, Andor and things like this. I missed Andor because I'd watched other shit and it was crap. So I was like, nah, not going to watch it. Rogue One, I did see, and I really enjoyed that. It's not without its flaws, but I enjoyed it. But that is an example of what's happening. We're destroying things because people like myself, and I won't be the only one, we're missing things because we're bored of stuff. Yeah? And on top of all of that, we do need to stop being overly critical. So I have been critical here, but we need to stop over critiquing stuff. So I watched Terminator 2 very recently with Sarah Connor. Okay, one of my favourite films of all time. Sarah Connor, one of my favourite heroines of all time, heroes, whatever you want to say. She was brilliant. However, I watched it very recently, and I know certain YouTubers, yeah, like Nerderotic and maybe The Critical Drinker, if this film was made today, they may call her a Mary Sue. Because there were scenes where this woman, who's in fantastic shape, by the way, she did well to get into the shape that she did. She looks incredible. However, she would weigh about 50 kilos, which is, for Americans, about 100 pounds. Unfortunately, what she was doing, only a couple of times in that film, only a couple of times, I'll say that, it just was not realistic. And again, it's Terminator, so who cares? But I'm telling you, if it was made today, you'd have certain people being very, very pernickety about, oh, you can't throw around that 200-pound man. That's ridiculous. Yeah, it is. But fuck it. So's the idea of the Terminator and a liquid metal guy running around making blades with his arms. Like, I don't care if it's ridiculous, as long as it stays within the law of what the concept is. Yeah, so Star Wars is completely ridiculous. Of course it is. You've got aliens of people from all kinds of different space and the universe. You've got intergalactic travel. You've got all this shit. You've got lightsabers, the Force. You've got crazy stuff. But it makes sense because the world allows it to make sense. There's a law there. There's a lot going on. It's like the xenomorph and aliens, that again, something I absolutely adore and love. It's ridiculous. Yeah, of course it is. You've got basically this thing that basically reproduces out of any animal it does, and always the xenomorph looks similar, just slightly different traits. And then sometimes it does one thing. The acid blood does this and it changes. I mean, how can you have acid blood? Like, come on, how can it contain acid blood? Like, anyway, doesn't matter, and I don't care, because that's what it is, and it's in the law of it. It's stupid, but I'm okay to accept the flaws. I'm not a biologist. I'm not there going, oh, actually, that's impossible, because I don't care. This film is fucking awesome, man. Give me more of this film. As long as you stay within those boundaries and that law that they kind of set at the start, no problem. A bit like The Predator. Like, takes skulls and things as trophies, yet sometimes it just hangs a man up from the tree and skins him alive. Like, that's absolute rubbish, isn't it? Like, that's completely inconsistent. However, here we are, just accepting that because, hey, that happened in the first one, so it must be the law. So I don't care. We look past these flaws. Like, it only kills you if you have weapons and things like this. Like, cool. Like, all of that stuff, fantastic. Yeah? So, again, like I say, you stick within the boundaries of the law of whatever you're producing, and the world is realistic. I'm going to watch it, take my money, and I don't care. Now, what do we see as success because I think this is like a really important thing. So again, speaking to other people, they think views are successful. So how many people are watching the show? But they're not looking at, because everything's data driven, right? So who's doing what? Like, how's this making money? But look, I have a small YouTube channel, right? As you know, you're watching it. Again, please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're still watching, and if you are, thank you very, very much. But if you look at like my most popular video, right? Let's just say it has 20,000 views. It has slightly more, but it doesn't matter. It does to me, clearly. And basically, is it my best video? No, really, it's not that good. It doesn't have the best watch time. People are clicking off. I've got some people who are disliking it. Yeah, it's not doing great, okay? And if you just measure it based on the views, it's my most popular video. But it's not. It's not, because there's not as much watch time as some others. It's not as good quality. And I didn't gain as many like subscribers from it, okay? So, and this is what we want. Yeah, if you make good scripts, if you make good films, people will watch it. People will tell their friends it's good. People will watch it. Again, people will pay their money. They trust other people's opinions. It doesn't need this huge IP. It doesn't need to be ruined with CGI and representation of everyone. It just needs to be high quality, good script, and a decent director. Now, if you haven't got a decent director, find someone. Take a gamble on someone who clearly is desperate to prove they're a quality filmmaker. Yeah, and let's not, again, put them in a quota. Let's not go, oh, we'll take this female person because they're female, or we'll take this person because they're representing this particular demographic. No, are they good? What are they showing you that's good? If it's good, let's go. I don't care what they do outside of bloody work. If they produce a good film, I don't give a shit. Just look at the people that made The Matrix. Yeah, I loved The Matrix, the original. That's the only one I like. The second one's decent, and then we can stop talking. But I don't care about those producers. Yeah, those filmmakers and what they're doing. As long as they can produce something that's good and original, I do not care. Yeah. So the moral of this story is, I don't give a shit about politics. I don't give a shit about gender, race, any of that crap. I do not care unless it's thrown in my face and it's not fitting of the film or whatever I'm trying to watch. Yeah, if it's trying to throw you a certain way, I'm not interested. If it's trying to tell you to vote a particular way or be more liberal or something like that, I do not give a shit. Yeah, I watched a film which was, I believe, quite political. It's got a good cult-like following and has a message behind it. Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. I was born in 1990. I watched this when I was about 19, yeah? So I watched it and I was told how good it was. Robert De Niro, it's famous, you talking to me, looking at the mirror and all this stuff. So I expected some film. It was completely different to what I expected. Did I like the film? It was a bit flat for me, personally, because I wasn't around at that time. So I didn't get what the message was. It didn't have any sort of impact on me. Yeah, so I've watched it once, never again, and I didn't love it. Like, for example, I much prefer The Joker, yeah, to Taxi Driver. Yeah, and it's like, it may not be a better film, it just, I'm around at this time, so I get the message behind it and stuff like that. But again, you can watch The Joker with a friend and have a completely different opinion on what it means. Like, obviously not extreme, but you can have a different opinion. Some people don't even see the political messages. Some people don't even see the Joker's got mental health issues. Yeah, they might just see, oh, it's the Joker, he's a superhero, and they see it just for that and they just enjoy it. Or they don't. Whereas I'm looking at it from maybe a bit deeper. And I've looked at other films and I've only seen the surface level. And that's okay, because you weren't into it. But when you're into something, you see right into it, and like, you go into things like, I love Interstellar. That film makes no sense at all. No sense. And normally I'd be shitting on a film like that. Oh, I get it. It's tried to be great, but actually it's not very good. It don't make no sense. How could that happen? This isn't true. Don't care. Interstellar, it just, for me, one of the best films ever made. I love the music, the acting, everything about it I love. And Nolan's a great movie maker. I think he's got a few wrong recently, but he is good, man. We need to stick with really good creators like that who just create quality. Whatever he produces, it's epic. Whether you like it or not, it's epic. So, yeah, look, rant over really for me. I'm basically here asking you lot, how do we fix the issue of these films? Or are we the issue? Slightly older people? Are the people like, are we nostalgia merchants? Like, have I got it all wrong? Are new films actually good? Are the new Jurassic Parks better than the originals? It's just we've already seen it, so we're not impressed, but people today are actually watching better films. Like, what is it? I personally don't think so, but maybe I am just biased, and sometimes you can't see your own fucking bias. Yeah, sometimes it's just like, nah, that's shit because I've seen it before, that's not as good. But to be honest, would Alien be that good, or would we find Alien boring if it came after Aliens? So we'd seen the Alien, and then now we're watching Alien. We'd be like, fucking hell, hurry up. We know the aliens they are. Yeah, we know it's impregnated the captain. Yeah, we know. Oh, it's going to burst out his chest. Oh, we know that. Like, it's not a surprise, is it? So this is what I mean. Do we like it because we were able to see the originals? And now we don't like it because we're tired and bored of it, and it doesn't match up to our expectations of what we think because we've seen it before. Yeah, that's kind of my question, and to be honest, I'm just thinking out loud. So if you liked it, hit that like. And I'm sorry it was a ramble, so I've talked shit for a while. So if you are still here, I really appreciate that, and thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Consider subscribing. Thank you.